Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo, back for day 4, installment 2 of the seasonal hype train. It's the summer 2019 treasure hunt, and now we are going to do Dr. Stone. So I just finished watching Fire Force, and it was a knockout. It was pretty awesome. Better even than I expected it to be, and it was one of the hypest shows of the season for me. So now we come to Dr. Stone, which is another big IP. It's been running the Shonen Jump polls for a while now, I think, and is getting an anime adaptation. This adaptation is being done by TMS Entertainment, who I'm most recently familiar with for doing Baki. Baki 2018 was their baby, I think. They're okay. They run the gamut of quality. It's a big enough studio that doesn't matter. This is going to be directed by Shinya Ino, who was episode director on certain episodes of Black Bullet, Hanebado, and Maiden Abyss. Has never been in the director's chair proper, from what I can find, so that's yikes. But, okay. And from what I know about Dr. Stone, it's a relatively... It's shonen. It's a relatively standard shonen thing. We're in the future. Everybody got turned to stone for a long time, and now the titular doctor person, whatever his real name is, the guy with the hair that looks like Bok Choy, wakes up and has to use science and technology to rebuild the world. That's what I've gathered. I don't know how accurate that is. Don't hate me if that's wrong. It's just what I've gathered, trying not to be spoiled about this show. There's a lot of hype for the show. I'm going to guess that this is going to be a pretty average anime adaptation. More like average shonen adaptation, which is fine. From what I've gathered, I think the appeal of Dr. Stone is the interesting technology and applications of it, used in lieu of like fight scenes, instead fighting against the harsh reality of trying to rebuild society. Yeah. I'm expecting this will be pretty average, maybe a little bit above average, and I am expecting that I will not watch more of it because I don't care. Yeah, that's just my expectation going in. Let's see if they can change my mind. I have episode 1 of Dr. Stone up and ready to go. It's at 0 seconds. There will be multiple versions of this reaction video. You can find picture-in-picture versions with the video inset up there in the corner, down there in the description. Timer-based version will be on YouTube as usual. It'll have discussion at the end and a beep-beep timer at the beginning if you want to sync up with your own media, and that timer will go right here. Oh, Crunchyroll's on... Are they on the production committee for this? I didn't see them on it. Okay. That'll backfire. No chance that'll backfire. Smart boy. I do not like this show, and I do not like this character. He pisses me off. How? Okay. And then you turn into stone. Well, that's inconvenient. Around the world. Damn, yeah. How many people straight died? Or shattered? Or exploded? Not dogs, though. Okay, it's an interesting premise. We'll have to see how it plays. OP? Nope. Cool piece of soundtrack. How about years? So they've been conscious as stone entities? That's fucked. Civilization collapsing. So we have a chance to start again on a pristine Earth. Okay. How's Bok Choy Boy going to wake up? Crack, crack. So, not Bok Choy Boy waking up first, it's this guy waking up first. Okay. A whole lot. Hmm. So it started happening to animals before it ever happened to humans. Nothing weird about these stone birds being here. That tree has grown big. If she wakes next, then there's an Adam and Eve motif going on, which could be interesting. Hmm. Hmm. Need to figure out how to wake people up. With the comment on 2. Dr. Stony Boy already alive? Yep. Hi. Okay. What have you figured out in those 6 months? Stars? Oh. Damn. Just counting for 3,700 years or so. Okay. Hmm. Preferably a few of them. Cool. Oh, wow. This is only the halfway point of the episode. Felt a lot longer than that. Okay, what's the second half of the episode about? Thanks. All fired up. Mm-hmm. The strongest primate? No. You think that will, Oh. Oh. But it caused the... Yeah. Hmm. Without the right tools, if you can't measure things. Hmm. You need booze? Hmm. Hmm. Too bad you can't, like, ice distill it. He loves 10 billion, doesn't he? Ah, he is gonna distill it. But how? That'll do it. He built a clay still. It's pretty badass. Oh, shit. There goes all your hard work. This is cool. Oh, it's cold now. You could just ice distill it. It wouldn't get as strong, though. Whoa. Hey, babe. You gotta shave that. Hmm. Ow. Ow. Uh-huh. Progress? Nope. Oh. Progress. Okay. Figured out the way. There are still 4 minutes. Oh my god, why is this going so slowly? The process of obtaining knowledge. Skio skire. Okay, do we get an OP? I think this is the OP. Hmm. Still a minute left. King of the Stone World. Still showing a minute left. Extremely dangerous and in some cases illegal. Please do not imitate without expertise. Smart. Is this... Okay, it just froze with 55 seconds remaining. I assume that this is just the end, and it's just screwed up in terms of VLC stuff. Yep. Okay. Cool. So that was episode 1 of Dr. Stone, and it's pretty okay. I think that this show would probably, if I were to keep watching it, I would guess that this would end up being a 6.5 to a 7, which is pretty good. It is mostly moving manga, like... there's no Sakuga. There's no impressive animation whatsoever. And that's okay because it's the story and the concepts that matter and the characters. This episode felt like it was about twice as long as it actually was. And this is a weird subjective way that I sometimes judge things. Like episodes of Monogatari I almost always hit the end and I'm like, wait, it's over? That felt like 10 minutes. Episodes of slower shows, when it feels like I'm watching a half-hour show or a 40-minute show in 20 minutes, that's because it's dragging. It's because there's not a lot happening. And that's kind of to be expected from an intro episode where you have to introduce us to the characters and the world and the concepts and the premise, the whole idea. And in this case, we have an interesting, relatively unique premise that can't base itself on archetypes or just like, by the way, it's an isekai into an RPG or something like that. Nothing of the sort. It's an interesting premise. It's an interesting setup for it. But I found myself bored. Really bored. I think if I was going to interact with this series at all, I would read the manga. Partly because it's art by Boichi and this art is good. Better than most of what the anime can provide. Also because the anime is just... From what I can tell, it doesn't add much. It adds music, animation, and locks it into time, and that's the problem. I could probably read the corresponding chapters of Dr. Stone in a quarter of the time that it took me to watch this, if not less. And that's if I was going slowly and, like, really looking at all the panels. Now, that said, the strength here is in the premise because it's an infinite wellspring of interesting ideas. You can come up with any kind of technological challenge because, well, let's be real, it's taken humans thousands and thousands of years to get from the Stone Age to where we are now, and so the journey to get back can go for as long as necessary, as long as they don't screw up and, like, 6 episodes in, they've created a bustling economic center. Right, and then you've wasted a lot of time. But they can come across various challenges, things that they need to survive or to improve their living. Come up with stuff like irrigation, running water, everything. All the technology that we take for granted. And so that makes this an interesting show in terms of what it provides for the viewer. It provides a bit of an educational experience, a bit of edutainment. In that, like, if you didn't know that some of those mushrooms were poisonous or edible, now you know. If you didn't know how winemaking works, now you have a pretty bad explanation of how it works. If you didn't know how the distilling process is, you've got some things that sort of gesture in its general direction. And it also presents I think not only valid but important perspective on science and the importance of science. Not only that science is cool, but that science is not magic. Science it's not that things can't be explained by science. It's that we don't currently have the tools to explain them, or we don't currently have the ability to measure the things that we would need to do to be able to say, yes, this is scientifically accurate. So that's what we do. That's the process that we go through. Science is the process of coming to knowledge that we can say this is true. And it's a long and arduous process. And to show that in a show and not make it just be like the way that pseudoscience is often done in anime, where it's just sort of half false explained away, is kind of nice. It's pretty cool. And then the idea that we have a world that has had 3,700 some years to recover from humanity's influence on it is a pretty classic sci-fi story. I'm trying to think of an example. I know that there are some 70s and 80s sci-fi that go about this kind of thing, but the idea that we have the opportunity to rebuild human civilization in a pristine Earth, we get a second chance, which is poignant and important in today's time, because we're becoming more and more aware of just how much impact our activities, human activities, do have on the environment, and coming to the realization that we might just be fucked, and without something serious and drastic that reduces our impact on our planet, we might go extinct, and the planet might not be able to support life, at least as we know it. So the idea that maybe we get a retry and use that as a way to teach people interesting and useful little things and bits about science, and grow respect for human accomplishment and all the things that we take for granted. I think that's important and cool. But once again, I don't know if this anime adaptation is necessarily the best means of getting that story into your brain. I'm going to go out on a limb and just say outright that I think that if you like what this show is doing with its themes and stuff, unless you're really tied to the voice actors and you're really tied to anime as a format and you don't really read much manga, I would say that reading the manga is probably the way to go. I, for one, am probably not going to watch any more Dr. Stone, unless maybe once a lot of it is out, I'll binge through a bunch of it just for fun. But this felt like I was wasting about half of my time watching this. Like about half the time of this episode didn't matter, and I didn't care about and didn't need to see. So that's a pretty disappointing take coming out of Dr. Stone. I'll probably get some flack from that from you guys in the comments. We'll see. But that's what I think about it. I thought it was fine for what it is. A perfectly acceptable anime adaptation with pretty good color design, character design, and art. Minimal animation, nothing that caught me or made me interested, and I am just going to go out on a limb and guess that it's, for what I get out of it, or what I think I could get out of it, I would probably get more faster out of the manga. So that's my take on Dr. Stone episode 1. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much or more than I have. It's cool. I mean, if you like the show, I'm not trying to knock you in any way. Just, I'm probably not going to watch it because I'm not super interested. It's got a lot of interesting concepts. I don't know if the execution matches up. Okay. Well, that'll be it for me. I've got more shows to watch, so I'll see you in the next thing I watch. Peace.